Focus right. It's there.
Ugh.
No. Input. Fuck. I'm sorry.
Input.
This makes it.
Fuck.
I'm sorry. This makes it.
Fuck.
All right. It's good. It's good. It's good. All right.
Input
Good morning,
fuck.
afternoon, and evening. Welcome back to the Liberal Artist Podcast. Oh, God.
Girl, are you okay?
I wasn't prepared for input.
I
fuck.
guess you weren't.
No. I I'm Bodio Papula. I have Kaylie Horowitz.
Haley.
Oh God, Kaylie Horowitz and Andy Gibby Gibson with me.
God, you're coming apart,
I'm
man.
dying.
You're coming apart.
I'm
at
so-
He's
seams.
unraveling as we speak.
Okay, so apparently the new rules are, in addition to don't feed the gremlins after midnight, don't interrupt Bo with a weird pun during
Don't
the
interrupt
intro.
me with noun curse word. I'll never be okay.
Cheese piss.
Penguin shit.
Oh.
You're giving us powerful tools, Bo.
I'm glad we
can
went
fi-
like on a similar wavelength, just not the same brain cell.
I'm sure.
Just one standard deviation apart.
Yeah.
So.
You don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I don't either. It's just something I
No,
say
see, I
kinda
said
makes
you
sense.
don't know what that means.
Oh,
You
yeah. All right.
goofus.
Well, we're on the same page then. Almost.
Do we want to just jump right in? I don't even know if I'm like mentally prepared for banter.
I don't know. Are you good?
No.
Like,
No.
okay. Me neither.
No.
I'm glad we're all in agreement.
What's happening?
Is it the season? Is it the post-Easter fatigue? I don't know
Right.
what it
Look,
is.
man. I'm fucking wired on like chocolate bunnies.
We went to the grocery store on Easter because we realized, like, oh, we didn't have a couple things. And the candy wasn't even marked down.
Well, yeah, you have to go the day after Easter.
But they do that for Valentine's Day, though. Like, they start marking it down on Valentine's Day. And nothing was marked down for Easter.
Valentine's Day isn't a big religious holiday. They can get around to that shit on the day of.
The religion means we can upcharge you.
He is risen, and so are our prices.
On Christmas, you can't get to the stores because we're taking a break
Yeah.
because it's Jesus' birthday. On Easter, he had to, come back from the dead. Jesus wasn't busy on Valentine's Day. Do you think he was just like shopping around like, God, I hope I can find like a paper heart right here
I hate to put
in
the cart before
Jerusalem?
the horse, but didn't he have to like go through all that before Saint Valentine was ever like a
Yeah.
saint for a particular school of thought / religion?
I don't know how anything works, Kaylee. I just say words.
He's got a point.
No, he doesn't. What do you mean?
I wasn't in charge of any of these decisions, Kaylee. You can't demand that I have the answers.
Okay, here's an open-ended question then. If you had to make a holiday,
Okay.
what would it be? What would you be in charge of in constructing some kind of a holiday, whether it's to celebrate a specific event or concept or whatever, and what does that entail?
I don't know. I think we all kind of come together to do that already on our friend Chris's birthday. when we just collectively agree to just dogpile on
Is
him.
Dunk on Chris Day his birthday?
No.
Yeah,
Wait, is it? No, I think
I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember if we did now. Oh no.
Okay, then if it's not his birthday, how did you all agree to make it shit on Chris Day?
Because we had to shit on Chris.
We were just, I think it started like that morning in class where we were all just dunking on this poor boy for no reason other than he was our friend. And he brought it up as a, what is it? Shit on Chris Day, and we went, well, let me put it in my calendar. Now
It's May
is.
2nd. I've had it in my calendar for. Are you saying that I've missed his birthday all this time? I thought that's how we celebrated his birthday. Are you telling me that nobody told me this? I thought our birthday greetings to him was like getting in the group me and saying, "Good morning, fuckface." I thought that's. I haven't known him as long as you guys have. I thought this was the tradition.
Tradition.
Nobody told me. When is this man's birthday. I've got like 5 happy birthdays to make up for.
It's late and I'm tired and I can't think of it right now. I'm sorry, Chris. I love
Why?
you. I promise.
Shout out to Chris.
Oh my god, I'm in so much trouble. He's not going to hold any of it against me, and that's going to make it worse.
I was just about to say, that's going to make it worse for somebody like you.
Oh god, why couldn't we have just gone straight into talking about anime?
This is your fault.
I made a mistake.
Yeah, man. Transitions. Full disclosure, we're all very tired and a little loopy right now.
We're all doing our best, and that's what matters.
So it's gonna be a weird one.
It's gonna get wacky.
This was one of those. We needed a topic, and I was walking out of my door just contemplating life and such. And I was like, fuck it, I haven't watched Trigun in its entirety. Let's do it.
See, I thought you had. I thought this was an excuse
No.
for you to force your friends to watch an anime with you. And
That you
I've already
had.
watched one of the parts of this.
No.
But that was in 2010, 2009.
Yeah.
Somewhere during then.
I was also going in relatively blind. So back in the day, right, back in the far off year of 2004.
Not back in the 90s.
No,
when
no.
we were
this
on
was
a famous TV show.
This was post 90s. No one was a horse.
Not now, Bojack.
Another day, we'll tackle that in an episode, but we are not
should,
mentally stable enough right now
Yeah,
for that.
We actually should do that.
Bojack would break us right
Exactly, it would break us.
The original kind of grouping of anime on Cartoon Network, there was like your daytime
Yeah.
ones. There was, your Sailor Moons, your Dragon Balls, your Hamtaros.
Yes, I was just about to say Hamtaro.
When we work together, it's much better. My best friend.
Hamtaro.
We love sunflower seeds. Yum, yum, yum. But there was also the nighttime ones that, me as an 11-year-old was like, hee, I shouldn't be watching these, but I am.
Or
Right.
you were me at like 7 and you were watching like the late night block of cartoons like Courage the Cowardly Dog and like I think sometimes Johnny Bravo was in
Yeah.
that like
Cow and
cartoon
Chicken.
cartoons rotation. And then you'd pass out and you'd wake up and there's some weird scene from Fooly Cooly or Naruto or,
Ooh, this is
or
this is before
Evangelion.
Naruto. This is before
No, like
Naruto.
it would happen multiple times between the ages of 7 to 14, honestly, of
Yeah.
just like, I don't know what this show is, but I'm going to keep watching this.
Yeah.
It's 3:00 in the
In that-
morning. What am I doing?
In that first batch, it was definitely like Fully Cooley, Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion, Ghost in the Shell, Big O.
Yes, Ghost in the Shell was one of those that I was actually like, oh, I need to go watch this.
Yeah, I feel like I should watch that. At
I
some
need to go
point.
look for this one on purpose.
But there was also the pinpoint of our topic of discussion today, Trigun.
Yeah.
So Trigun kind of gets caught up in that whirlwind of, oh, dude, it's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
And they recently made I don't know what the word for new reinterpretation.
I was going to say
new
revamp,
version.
like readaptation.
Yeah. Of Trigun called Trigun Stampede, which just finished airing a couple weeks ago.
Hey, we're timely with something. Hooray!
Oh my god, it finally happened.
We did it. Drop the balloons. Drop the streamers. Play the music.
Editor Gibby, play the sound of one party horn going off.
Can I make it in the distance?
Yeah, sure.
in the next room is one party horn.
From across a desert wasteland.
But yeah, so we wanted to. I wanted to watch Trigun of 1998 fame with my friendos, and then also watch Trigun Stampede of 2023 fame with my friendos. And we're gonna talk about it with you, lovely listeners.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're getting into it, dude. So we'll talk about, I think, categorize it: setting, story, atmosphere, or themings. Themings is
Food, water, atmosphere.
better. Speaking of atmosphere, holy shit, Trigun 98's OST is so goddamn sweet.
All right, we're not gonna do the entire like song just in like us mimicking the
But
guitars,
we could
We
try.
could try.
I highly suggest we don't, but it's so cool.
In the world of this show kind of taught me one thing and retaught me another thing. It retaught me that, hey, Japanese samurai flicks and spaghetti westerns just merge. They just go together.
George
It's
Lucas
such a
was
good
fucking
fit.
onto something.
He really
Samurai
was.
Western, baby.
It just works every time.
100% of the time, it works every time.
You take a little Kurosawa, you take a little bit of, for a few dollars more, you just put them together and it just does it.
Hell
Bede
yeah.
bing, bede boom.
And somehow they found this really cool mixture of electric guitar and woodwind instruments
Yeah.
that just really make a nice atmospheric OST for the series.
I think it's fair to say with something like, and I'm going to make the spiritual comparisons, whether they're fair or not, but like with Trigun and Cowboy Bebop,
Yep.
where Cowboy Bebop is jazz, we got rock and roll with
I
Trigun.
was just about to say, like, I feel like these two are always in conversation with one another.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like but he's Cowboy Bebop, and this is the Western Desert. Where's
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop? No, that's a different show. Like, I don't know what it is, but these two always sort of feel entangled with one another from my perspective. And exactly. I love that Bebop is more of that like jazz, like funky. How do we add jazz and play with that structure and sound? And exactly, Trigun is this like, give me a guitar, give me a bass. Let's just fucking go, like, pump some shit out.
Give me a guitar, give me a bass, and a fucking pan flute. Let's get it.
Yeah.
It's Jethro Tull time, motherfucker.
Let's go.
And I will say, like, I remember so many, and my cousin included, who's a big fan of, but like Cowboy Bebop and Trigun are like two of his
Shout out to
favorite
Kaylee's
anime.
cousin.
Hi Kit.
Josh Kit.
And I remember like when I was coming into like anime as a middle schooler, high schooler, like talking with him about both things, I always felt like, yeah, like Cowboy Bebop has its place in the roster of just like OG greatest of all time animes. Trigun always was like my Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
I like this was where I was like, yeah, okay, I understand why the other one's good. I fucking love this. This is incredible. I love this one.
I think I really get what you're saying because the roots, like jazz and rock and roll, are pretty similar. They're just delivered in a different way.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, let's say spoilers. This is the first time in a while we've said spoilers at the
We've
top of
been
a discussion
slacking.
instead of in the middle of it. So for even with us losing it, we're doing pretty good in some metrics. But like you take essentially post, like maybe not full on post-apocalypse, but like
The exact opposite.
Well, technically post-apocalypse, but now a couple centuries past the one on Earth apocalypse, and we're just starting from scratch.
Yeah, we'll get into the lore.
You take
Yeah.
you take the ruined Earth essence of the beginning of your story.
Space colonization and expulsion into a wasteland.
You take it in different directions. In Cowboy Bebop, I think takes it in a much more like pessimistic and nihilistic way versus something like Trigun takes a lot of its story and a lot of its atmosphere in a little bit more of a hopeful way.
I can see that.
Like that's like a lot of the stories in both are focused on like dealing with the past.
Yeah.
But something like Trigun, because of its central character, takes a lot more like hopeful look at it, a lot more like moral look at it, instead of like just resigning yourself to like, well, that's the way it is, I guess.
Yeah.
In my shitty Steve Bloom impression, you have a hero that goes like, you know what? No, I am gonna do the right thing, damn it. And even though episodes 17 through 25 are gonna be really, really hard for me,
Yeah.
damn it, I'm still trying
Boy
my
goes
best.
through it. All right, so
he gets put through the ringer.
let's
man.
talk
It
about.
hurt.
We'll keep talking about atmosphere, but let's add the story into
Yeah.
it. So Trigun follows a young man named Vash the Stampede, the Humanoid Typhoon.
My
He's
boy.
I've heard those words so many times over the
the
last
60
4
billion
days.
double dollar man.
60
Yep.
billion double dollars. He has a
Vash
bounty
the
on his
Stampede,
head.
the $60 billion double
60
dollar
billion
man.
double dollar.
60 billion double
The
dollar.
Humanoid Typhoon.
Yeah, so he has a bounty on his head for 60 billion double dollars.
And then they do change it to 6 million double dollars.
Well, we'll talk about
I have-
Stampede later.
You know, I have
We'll
questions-
get there.
We'll
I
get
have
there.
questions about the monetary like conversion or status of the double
So
dollar.
do I,
between
and I'm mad about it.
universes.
We'll get there when we get there. But Vash the Stampede is where it has a bounty on his head for 60 billion double dollars for the destruction of a town called July.
Yep.
He blows it up, and
Kaboom!
two women who work for an insurance company,
The
Meryl
Bernard
Streep,
Daly Insurance
the Bernard
Society.
Daly Insurance Society,
Just another thing I've heard 100 times over the last week.
Millie.
Yeah, we do every single one of these episodes, pretty much like up to episode 14. You'll get slammed with the same things, no matter what.
Can I finish?
No!
So Vash the Stampede, 60 billion double dollars on his head, blew up a town called July, and people have been chasing him ever since. Two women from the Bernard Daly Insurance Company, Millie Thompson and Meryl Streep, go after him because he is a man who brings chaos with him and has cost the insurance company a ton of money. So they are meant to follow him to both document and stop whatever destruction goes in Vash's wake. So we meet a crazy cavalcade of Western/anime people, along with another named character, Nicholas D. Wolfwood, my boy, the
Based.
priest,
The cool priest.
a strange man who carries a giant cross on his back, which is symbolic and beautiful, and I love him so much.
Yeah.
And it's full of guns.
And it's full of
It's
guns.
full of guns.
And when he's out of guns, it turns into a gun. And when he's out of that
Yeah.
gun, it turns into a rocket launcher. He's the best.
He's pretty
Yeah,
rad.
so we follow them around this world called Gunsmoke, Planet Gunsmoke,
'Cause
which
cowboy.
is basically the Wild West, but the deserts of the Wild West, but as a planet. We see this planet. I don't know how deep we want to go into the lore right now, because I'll start talking for a while and I won't stop.
Yeah.
He'll just keep going.
Yeah,
Ah!
there's a lot of lore and it's everywhere. But
Yeah.
All right, be careful before you go full Vati video.
yeah, dude. Some might say that Vash the Stampede isn't actually a stampede. No.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop you there because I do have something that I'm burning to say about Vash the Stampede.
Yes.
This motherfucker is Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Or
Effectively.
at least the first 15 episodes or so. And I find that so interesting and so refreshing for most anime, in that your typical anime protagonist will either be your shonen, like, young boy who's just like, I'm going to be the best at XYZ.
Yeah.
Your Ash Ketchums in varying degrees.
Yeah, or your Spikes, where it's just like, well, that's just the way the world is,
Yeah.
baby. Like, no, they took a Mel Blanc character and they just put him into anime. Like, not just because, like, he is seemingly indestructible and very, very very silly, which is not something I expected when I first saw like the opening or the art of it. I didn't know how silly this boy would be. Give him like the propeller hat because he is a
He's
trademarked
a goober.
silly boy.
He's just a goofball.
He's a goober. He's a goober that like does meme shit, but at the same time he can like kick ass. But he's never the one that starts a fight. He ends the fight, and that's why he's a cool guy and not a bully, just like Bugs Bunny. What the fuck? How hasn't anybody ever done that before?
In this essay, I will.
So Vash in this Wild Wild West world is arguably the best gunman there. He's extremely capable and an amazing shot and amazingly athletic, but he has a rule: he does not kill. Period. Refuses to kill a person. He'll shoot you in the shoulder and then take you to the hospital after he's already treated your wounds.
Yeah.
And to Gibby's point, what makes Vash so refreshing is he's like a very goofy. In a run-of-the-mill anime, he'd be the joke sidekick character.
Yeah.
Who has a dark past.
Like Wolfwood would be the protagonist in any other like sort of just like generic kind of Western like investigative mystery action anime. Sure, let's focus on this guy. He's got the big cross. He's cool and main character energy. Nope.
But Vash is extremely capable. He's the most capable person in the series. He always has a plan if stuff goes wrong. He always has a way to fix it. And even when he's being goofy and cartoony, it's because he's actively trying to disarm the situation. You think in episode 4, when the entire town comes after him, after finding out that he's worth $60 billion double dollars.
Yeah, they're like, we need that money, bitch.
To repair their power plant. And he's just like Looney Tunesing around. Not because
his ultra instinct form is the Road Runner.
Right, not because he's in trouble, but because he actively wants them to just stop and have a drink with him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a very friendly guy and, like, to an extent doesn't realize that, like, some people are desperate and will willingly come after him if it means like saving.
See, I think he does realize that, and he definitely knows that, but he knows that he can also talk those people down, and ultimately they'll be able to get along.
I think the reason that works, and I only think about this now that I have the ability to look back on it and reflect, is because he knows. And of course, once again, spoiler territory. Fuck it, we already
said spoilers.
We're
good.
We did the disclaimer once.
Yeah, he's not human. Like he's very human-like, but like you get hints early on. One, he knows that he's not, and that he's a higher being. Two, you get to see it if he takes a lot of damage and if he gets like beat up a lot, like. You get to see cybernetic elements. You get to see like divine elements. What exactly is this boy?
So
he's a plant.
Hi, so
plant.
Lore time.
So way back in the early times of Trigun's history, like we said, it's sci-fi. So it's people have abandoned Earth. Because of good old global warming and running out of resources. Yeah. So they take to space. The reason they're able to is because mankind develops these things called plants, which are effectively infinite energy machines that can create they can create power, they can generate electricity, they can create plants, create water, the whole nine. Inside the plants are these, quote, multi-dimensional being suspended in time and space. Yeah, it gets stupid.
Being beyond space and time.
And Vash and his twin brother Knives, who we'll also talk about, are sentient.
What a name.
Yeah. Hey, parents out there, if you want your kid to be an evil douchebag, name him Knives. Just name him after a weapon.
Right. Scar. Knives.
Right. Knives. Gun.
Like...
I just like where it's just like, oh, twin boys, what should we name them? How about Jonathan and gun violence.
Well, I like that.
That's a good
Vash
name, a
tries to,
good
like,
family name.
Vash tries, whenever he refers to his brother, he's like, Nye. Like,
Mhm.
sort of that, like, nice, soft nicknames. You don't
Yeah.
have to
Call
call
him
your own
Knives.
sibling Knives.
Knives plural.
You essentially have like alien Cain and Abel in this situation.
Right.
Like your Angle and your
That's
Devil.
exactly what it is. There's a
My
lot of heavy
devil.
Christian adjacent themes
Yeah.
in the show, which I want to talk about Millie and Meryl before I talk about Wolfwood, because I have a lot to
Yeah.
say
Hey,
about
ladies,
Wolfwood.
The most dedicated
I
insurance agents in
love
the world.
Millie and Meryl. They're the
I do
best.
too.
They're good.
Like I said this about Vash, and this is something I'll keep saying over and over and over and over and over again. Wait, hold on. Finish the lore. We talked about
we're loopy. We're so fucking
yeah,
loopy.
we're so out of there.
So
So
focusing.
mankind
Focusing.
dips out on Earth, develops infinite energy machines. They have kind of sort of elf people,
Yeah,
angels,
kind of
whatever
people,
you want to call
but
it.
Divine.
In
not.
there. Yeah, they have divine people, right? Like, let's call it what it is. They're supposed to be angels. And
Yep.
Knives and Vash are sentient plants. Most plants can't live outside of their plants look like a giant light bulb, which is very cool and looks really cool on like the sand horizon and everything. It's sweet. But Vash and Knives are sentient plants. So their Knives takes that to say we're gods and humans are disgusting. And Vash takes it to the place of no, we're here to protect humans because the humans who raised us are good people.
Yeah.
And that is their eternal struggle. Knives forces that group of ships with thousands of people in deep sleep. He forces it to crash onto planet Gunsmoke, a planet he knew where they couldn't survive, or he thought they couldn't survive, in order to kill all
he's
the
an
people
asshole.
because he's a dick, and he fails. And he continues to fail for about 150 years. Fucking loser.
Get dunked on.
No, your one job, your
dunked
one goal in life is to kill all humans. You put them in the middle of the Sahara Desert and they thrive for 150 years. What's your bitch ass doing?
Thrive might not be the right word, but
They're
like,
surviving.
Yeah, no,
they're
they
surviving
do,
and they're
yeah,
building
they're
a society.
surviving. They're still
They're building
making
a
do.
society. That's what I like about
Yeah.
Trigun. We're in a society on the rise, which is why why
Exactly.
the
Like,
Wild
this
West
is-
works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Setting.
this is my notes between the two was that Trigun,
Don't say the Stampede shit
is-
yet. We'll get there.
well, no, like Trigun is a desert. Like this is the Wild West with like sci-fi thrown in, whereas Stampede.
No, Kaylie,
is
Kaylie,
a Western.
Kaylie,
No,
Kaylie.
no,
Not
but
yet, not
the
yet.
point of this is being that like this one really does like we've got this future tech. This is like what the 32nd century or something like that. But because we are in a state of becoming, we are still in the state of building and adapting. We don't look like we're that far in the future because we have been put back so far, which
Yeah.
is kind of an interesting goal and aesthetic, because every time you do something sci-fi but you want to make it a frontier, or you want to make it in the woods or something, like some little like kind of isolated idea, well, why would you be in such a technologically advanced future in this location? Well, here you go. Why? Because we're starting from scratch. And this is just what it looks like every time humanity has to do that.
Because we did a Wally, boys.
Yeah.
But Billy Thompson and Meryl Streep, I love these two.
Yes.
I used to think they were so annoying as a kid, and like rewatching it, I'm like, I was so fucking wrong. They are delightful.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, something I'll continue to say over and over and over again are that these characters are extremely capable.
Yep.
These are two insurance women who are chasing the most dangerous man on the planet because their boss told them to, and they're also gunsmen. Like they're both also badasses who are just like, yeah, there's a reason why we got this job, because we could kill you if we tried hard enough.
Yeah, the first time that like Meryl reveals that under her coat she's just got like 10 Dillinger pistols.
It's so sick.
Is just like, okay, so they're not going to be damsels or anything. That's interesting. Like Millie, who is the tallest woman in the history of anime outside of Attack on Titan, just has a fucking minigun that shoots like practically nets that like
stun gun
subdue
Millie.
people.
You want to know something funny?
Yes.
So Vash and Wolfwood tower over everyone, and Millie's like just about as tall as they are. Guess how tall Vash the Stampede is?
Is he gonna be like 5'7"?
6'5".
5'11".
Ah.
These people are malnutrition. They don't got food, bro. Malnutritioned. I'm dying.
Malnutrition.
They are malnutritioned actively.
I also just blame 90s anime, which was, what the fuck are proportions? I don't know.
Okay.
Give this bitch some long legs and a long torso.
They're the main
too.
characters. They get to be taller than everybody.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race, and let me just say this. Vash's waist is fucking snatched.
Right?
Like, y'all didn't see the nails thing Gibby did when he said that.
I did the nails.
He's got the like
Bent the hand.
Got the nails.
Right.
Ochre.
I did the limp wrist.
He did a limp wrist. He bent the nails like he was trying to make a fist, but just got his nails done. Didn't want to
I was
break
going
them.
to show them off. You're not
Right.
making this, but you could.
Exactly, dude.
That waist was fucking cinched.
Yeah.
Like,
Cinched.
it was to the point where it was just like, damn.
I had the biggest crush on Vash the Stampede.
Of course you did.
Oh
You
my
did.
god.
How
My
could
best
you
friend
not?
was obsessed with Wolfwood. I was obsessed with Vash. Oh my god. And I also just blame the fact that it's Johnny Young Bosch.
Johnny Young
And
Bosch.
I love this man.
boy.
He is one of my favorite voice actors. 10 out of
Playing
10.
them blondes.
I could listen to this show in its subbed form, and I refuse because I just enjoy his performance that much.
Yes.
I'm sorry to the original Seiyu's voice actors, but I love this
But
man's
the
Vash
English
so
dub
much.
is also like aggressively good for the time period that it came
Yes.
out in.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very, very
Yes.
good. But back to Millie and
I
Meryl.
am...
Yeah, I'm interrupting you.
Anyways.
Loser.
Yes.
Back to Millie and
Eh.
Meryl.
Bring us back to my tall queen.
I too love Millie. They're fun because even though there are grounding characters, there are two characters who are to say, "Hey, this shouldn't be happening. We need to get out of here. We need to do this." Again, they're extremely capable. They're capable of making decisions. They're capable of defending themselves. And their motivation is so interesting. I would never,
Right.
ever in an anime to be like, yeah, I got two insurance salesmen and they want to make sure you don't break shit. That's so much fun.
It feels like something that we kind of return to in stuff like One Punch Man or even a little bit like Chainsaw Man, where it's like, it can't be that simple, can it? No,
is.
that's
Just
the
doing my
motivation. And like, it doesn't have to be bigger than that. You can just go with that because that is enough to get them involved in whatever the hell is happening is your main action.
Yeah,
Like,
their motivation does turn more personal
As they get to
later
know
on
Vash,
in the
yeah.
show.
sure.
Yeah, like, but it always stays like more so on the down low. Like Millie, very much, she's a big golden retriever.
Yeah.
She wears her heart on her sleeve, and like Meryl is going to be the one that's a bit more reserved and just be like, I'm just here for my fucking health,
Right.
man. Leave me alone. But like, you do get to see her like come to really understand and appreciate Vash. I think it's really good that in like the next to last episode, she's the one that comes to his defense when, after many series of misfortunes have led to the general populace turning on the good-hearted Vash, she defends him with words that he lives by, and I thought that was very powerful. But at the same time, for the first 15 fucking episodes, I was kind of losing my patience because she was just like, there's no way this guy's Vash the Stampede.
That was always
just like,
something
"Come the
that
fuck
bothered
on."
me.
Yeah.
Was just like, and I get the idea of like putting yourself in that situation. You've got this outlaw with this huge bounty on his head, unreal amount of money. You've heard they're like Trigun. I again never noticed this as a 13-year-old, but like watching it now, there's so much nice like nuance woven in about the idea of headline and rumor and how word travels between all of these towns and how things get framed.
Practically no media or printing press.
Which is like currently like as a like 20-something and interested in media and scope and all that, I'm like, oh, that's exciting. But I putting myself like back in that first time watching it, I was like, well, yeah, of course it's Vash the Stampede. God, Meryl. But now I still have that impulse, but I'm also like, when would I have like finally fucking believed that this dipshit is a wanted criminal?
Fucking imagine you were sent out to like chase down John Wick and you found Joseph Joestar.
Oh my god, it's John Wick.
Yeah, still incredibly capable, but like a goober.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it now.
So
I definitely get it.
the reasoning behind that, and this is why I had for years. I never watched Trigun because I'd get to like episode 3 and I'd be like, this is fucking pointless. So the reason it is the way it's built that way, the reason for the first 4 episodes, Meryl's like, this can't be Vash the Stampede, we're moving on, is because when you go to the source material, we go to the manga, those 3 episodes don't exist.
Filler.
Those were all, there's filler. It's literally filler. Chapter 1 of the manga is episode 4 of the anime, which is where she finally says, oh, this is Vash the Stampede, which is where we start getting like actual lore snippets. Yeah. So I guess to fill out the 26 episodes they added that. I think episode 2 or 3 is actually the beta chapter of Trigun.
Yeah.
Every anime, every manga you've ever read has like a one-shot version of itself,
right?
Which is like, this is kind of the elevator pitch for the story we're gonna tell.
It's a pilot.
Yeah, it's a pilot, and it changes.
It's a pilot, but it's on paper.
Yeah. Episode 3, I think, is the one with the sheriff and the bolo hat, and the one that and I think it ends with Vash yelling "love and peace" over and over again. My boy, that's chapter 0. Right.
Okay.
That's why for an hour, Meryl's kind of an idiot.
It's like, I get it, but it's definitely suffering like the realities of production versus like the legitimacy and the straightforwardness of the story.
Yeah.
Like I could tell episode 1 is very piloty in the way of like introducing the story, but also having a lot of your budget for animation go into the action so that people are like, oh, it's fucking sick.
Nice.
And the next 2 episodes are like, okay, we got like 5 minutes of action in on this one.
Yeah.
But then like
these ones are more talky.
But I like them.
Yeah. I think it really, really gets going like with the episode of like the entire town hunting him.
No, like exactly. The
That's
what is
chapter
that? That's
1.
May City. Yeah. Yep. May City. The town is on the hunt for Vash, and then the Nebraska family gets involved, and shit goes to hell in a handbasket.
Very proto One Punch Man in a lot of ways, of like the entire city turning against like a guy, and then as soon as a bigger threat comes around, he's just like, guess what? I've actually been good this whole time.
Handled.
We need this guy. Help!
Fucking handled. Dealt with. Let's drink.
Yeah, like just fucking dealing with like a gigantic genetic freak who's like 100 times your size. I know you're thinking of Steiner. I know you're thinking about it.
I'm sorry.
He's a genetic freak, and he's not normal.
You see, Vash, the Stampede, a sacrifice. You see, my son, Jeff Nebraska, he's a genetic freak.
I mean, I will say a lot of the villains.
And with the town getting involved, you got 33% and a third less chance of winning.
No, I was going to
Sorry.
say a lot of the like villain of the week antagonists in Trigun would make great like wrestling
They
persona
would.
costume
Yeah.
characters. Like
Oh,
you're not
absolutely.
wrong.
Do we? We're burning the night hour.
We
God.
are
Burning the night oil. What is wrong with me?
Okay, so in seriousness, I would like to talk about some of the antagonists.
Yeah.
At least in brief.
The Gung Ho Gang.
God damn it, those guys. Like we go essentially as we're getting like drips of backstory and lore. We go from like villain of the week to like here's the real threat.
Yeah. There's something out here in this wasteland that is actually stringing some of these things together.
It's knives.
Who or what could it be?
It's knives. It was knives.
No.
Yeah. It's not just Knives. Knives has recruited an entire like
Gang. A gang.
like an entire gang of like I was trying to come up with the word for like 9 people.
And there's
or, like,
12
10
of
people,
them,
and I was
and
like,
they're a gang.
there's 12
Yeah,
of them.
I don't think there's
Okay,
12
yeah.
of them in the anime, but there's supposed to be 12 of them.
Yeah, it confused me because they said something like, "Oh, we're the 9 deadly sins or whatever." And I was like, "What? Huh? What?" But essentially, Knives, like the worst person you've ever met, like recruits every emo kid.
Oh my
from
God,
2006
I
that
hate
he can find.
Legato. This Final Fantasy ass motherfucker
Oh my
looks
God.
so lame and doesn't match the
fucking
world
prick.
with his stupid blue hair and his
This
dumb
dumbass
white
Seto
hat.
Kaiba
His dumb
motherfucker.
wannabe Seto Kaiba ass with his
Seto Kaiba,
stupid
no.
shoulder patch. It's like, kill me, Vash. You know you have to. I have psychic powers for whatever reason. It's like,
What a
fuck
fucking asshole.
off. I hate you.
You make a group of villains whose goal is not to like take over the wasteland, whose goal is not to like get all the money or anything. Their goal is make my brother's life a fucking miserable existence.
My brother shot me that one time because I wanted to kill a lot of people, and now I hate him.
after I killed like an entire space force worth of
And then
people.
made him wipe out a small city.
Can you fucking imagine not moving on from an Xbox Live mentality from when you were 13
Right.
years
That's
old?
Knives is a 13-year-old on Xbox Live. There it
Oh
is.
no, it all makes sense.
He's the most sociopathic person alive. You know he played in Modern Warfare 2
I will
hacked
say I
lobbies.
fucking loved that scene though. So we see
God.
in later a little lore dump of Vash and Knives running around together in the world, watching it grow. Vash with hope, Knives with anger. And Knives disappears they travel together for 20 years? Yeah, 20 years.
Yeah.
Knives
They're immortal beings.
Yeah. They're effectively immortal. Lore, no, they're not. But the Knives disappears for a year and comes back with these 2 very powerful guns, both of which react with their plant powers and make these like world-ending cannons out of their arms.
Angel power.
Yeah, he makes one for himself and one for Vash. Vash, in freaking out about the nuke his brother just made, in a fit of passion, shoots Knives in the leg, takes both guns, and then runs away. They're separate for 80 years. Knives in that time. Anime doesn't really go into this, but in that time, he's building a cult. He is killing people. He's doing his thing.
Being a dick.
Yeah, being a dick, being a general dick. Vash is helping build cities, establish people, and helping humanity grow.
Jesus.
Vash finds out about somebody, and I forget her name. Faye was the lady who raised them. Faye is from
Rem.
Faye is from God of War.
No.
There,
Losing it.
he finds a descendant of their adoptive mother, Rem. Knives finds him first, kills him in cold blood,
Yep.
just because he knew Vash
he's
would
a
be
dick.
coming. And when Vash like points his gun at Knives, Knives screams at him over, "Are you going to shoot me again, Vash?" And I get chills every time. It's so watching these two, because they're both cartoon characters, right? They're both
Yeah.
Yeah.
lawful good and chaotic evil. Like watching them bash heads together and Knives being like, "Fucking do it, coward." And Vash not willing to give up his morals, but still trying his damnedest to stop him. It's just, mwah.
Chef's
And
kiss.
and they have a lawful good character that's not
Yes.
boring or like
Yeah. Or a paladin.
yeah. He's not Chase. That boy horny.
Kind of, sorta. He pretends to be.
Kind of sort
When
of.
given the
Sometimes.
when given the opportunity, so Vash is very much so not invincible. Part
Yeah.
of him not going all into being a plant and trying to be a human is that he doesn't recover, like plants do. So like if Knives get shot, he could sleep for a little bit and the bullet hole's gone. Vash,
Fucking Dio Brando asshole.
Vash, the expert gunman in the Wild West who doesn't kill people, has tons and tons and tons and tons of battle scars because
ouchie.
of his lifestyle and how firm he is in the "I will not and cannot kill people," which is also a very powerful moment when Meryl first sees all of Vash's scars for the first time. She sees him without his jacket on, and she's like, "Shit."
Yeah.
Um,
Oh God.
yeah.
Boy been through it.
Yeah. But it really shows, again, capable. It shows Vash's resolve that he's been running around for 100 years, not
Yeah.
only training and becoming this expert fighter, but also going through it. Like my boy's been through it, and he's going through it. But he's sticking to his literal guns, you know.
Haha.
And it hurts me that works against him. Like we talked about like the essentially like the climax and the like end of Act 2, start of Act 3 being kind of a tough watch because they put him through the goddamn ringer. The entire like bunch of assassins, these gung-ho guns, come around and they're trying to like make him miserable by putting through as much pain as possible and doing as much collateral damage as
They
possible.
kill everybody around
And-
him as often as they can. They force him
'Cause they're
into
fucking psychopaths.
because they force him into bad situations. They try over and over again to get him to kill one of them, and when he doesn't, the next one kills the last guy he beat. And of course it eats at him every time. Ugh.
Because he wants it to work. He wants like to be able to put the square peg in the round hole because we could just shave off the sides and it could work. And he's a good boy, and it hurts to see it not work, and that like a cruel world gets crueler around him until the point at which the biggest fucking asshole of them all, who I always want to call him the wrong name by going, LeFou,
No,
Lesotho,
Legato.
LeBron James.
Fake ass-
LeBron James.
Fake ass Seto Kaiba.
Fake ass Kaiba, like, forces him into a situation in which he either shoots, like, either Vash shoots fake Kaiba or Millie and Meryl will die, and he finally, for the first time, forces Vash to kill somebody, and it just
Tears him apart,
fucking
dude.
sucks, man. It puts up like just a bottomless pit at the bottom of your stomach. Just like, fuck me, this is awful. Like I'm glad they give him an episode to like reason with it, but this goddamn emo kid is like his corpse is fucking smiling after all this too, because he's the Joker that beat Batman, and it's just irritating.
I want to keep talking about this. Gibby, you could either splice this around or do whatever with this audio. I think for the first time in our history, we're going to do a two-parter on like one topic. Oh shit!
Wow.
Crazy.
We're gonna split it
Whoa,
up.
But Kaylee, you had something you wanted to say?
I have
before all this
something
goes
I
down?
wanted to say, but it's not nearly as insight. I'll do the goofy thing first, and then maybe the insightful
I
thing.
need
Maybe
it.
the goof.
I need it.
I'm thinking of an anime featuring a blonde-haired protagonist in a red coat
Yep.
with a prosthetic
Yep.
arm who has greatly supernatural
challenging me,
abilities
madam?
compared to his peers and is facing against
Are you
horde
trying to like?
pseudo-human creatures that are all hell-bent on chasing after
Are you trying to
him
tell
while
me
he's in
I have a
pursuit
type, Kaylee?
of maybe maybe I'm realizing that Trigun and Full Metal Alchemist have a lot more in common than I initially considered 10 years ago.
Yeah, they're both good. They're goated.
No, I just realized there was always a fun fandom jokey connection between oh hey, we have two blonde characters in red jackets with prosthetic arms that I remember
Voiced
a
by
lot
the
of
same guy.
I remember no, different men.
Different men.
One of them we don't talk about anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I thought every blonde guy in anime was Johnny Young
No, not every
Bosch.
blonde character is Johnny
Sorry,
Young Bosch, but it would be
proceed.
really funny. It would be really funny to replace Tamaki Suo, have Johnny Young Bosch do that character
Oh, yeah.
in Oron.
My bad. Proceed.
But yes, anyway, haha, funny Full Metal Alchemist Trigun joke. But no, again, as a 13-year-old, you can't appreciate necessarily everything that this show does because there's actually a really surprising amount of subtlety in its structure and how it weaves in its motifs and its ideas over the course of 26 episodes, half of which, as you're watching, you go, why are we here? What is the point of this right now? Because the action is sparse and we're just getting filler information, we're getting lore, we're getting background, where we're learning about people or places and you don't understand how it connects until the end. And this show constantly deals so much in these very simple, almost you don't think about it until you realize that it's the crux of the whole show, is what is power,
The quiet
what
moments.
is humanity,
Yeah.
what does that mean in a world where everyone is grappling for survival? We have to sell you out to fix this plant or we don't have water anymore. We will die. This entire town will die unless
Right.
we sell you for your bounty. There are so many small questions of that kind of the thing that bigger post-apocalyptic movie things like Mad Max and other sort of just stories that explore this vein of dystopia and destruction. It asks those questions so quietly, but they're there. And that is what
Subtle.
makes that idea of I refuse to kill because I want them to succeed. I want them to thrive because all of these cards have been dealt against them because of my brother.
Yeah, and I think the perfect character, I want to say this and then we can wrap up. I think the character who kind of envisions that struggle the best is Wolfwood.
Yeah.
The wandering
He
wandering
literally
priest.
has his cross to bear.
Literally bears his cross across the desert. He's a man who constantly strives to do good. He works to save people. He actively feeds the hungry.
Saving the kids.
He started an orphanage because he didn't want other kids to grow up in a messed up way like he did. But how does he do that? His cross literally becomes his gun.
Yeah.
Right. And then just the idea of that, because he's a priest, right? Specifically because he's I'm a priest, right? I am, he's just so good. And the symbology is just there. And then you also make it's my cross to bear, but it's also my weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh,
I like that. It's an interesting dichotomy that, in essence, Vash is happy Batman and Wolfwood is the Punisher.
Yeah.
they're both going for similar goals.
I saw that smile,
but
Kaylie.
They're doing it. They're doing it in a lot of different ways.
Gibby
you
said
know?
something pointed, and he doesn't even know it.
He said the thing.
He said the thing.
What did I do? What did I do?
He pushed the button. He activated
This
it.
is the part where we sell out Gibby and say he didn't watch Stampede for the episode
I
quite
didn't.
yet.
I'm moving. I don't.
But we'll make him watch
I'm
Stampede,
very
and then we'll talk
tired.
about
I'm
Stampede.
very tired.
I'm very tired and I'm very small and I have no money except for selling my bionicles.
Which gave you a lot of money.
No!
No, don't let him lie to you. It gave him a lot of money.
I made a lot of fucking money.
I mean, sure, but the Bionicles.
Move along.
No.
I kept the ones that are most sacred to me and also would only net me $10.
There it is. Going
Well,
back
at least I guess. Thank God you have cheap taste. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
going back to Wolfwood, there isn't a lot to say about him, because I think we said the most pertinent stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, he gets into scraps with Vash. Like, you've got these great moments where they are allowed to parallel one another and then also foil one another, which is always so fun to have that put into one character rather than have separate, this is your foil and this is your parallel.
Right.
Like, they bounce off each other in those kind of vibes so well.
As much as he plays
that-
the rival role, he also plays the sidekick role.
Exactly. Like, they argue and spat with one another like it is that they are supposed to be a team, and then they have to get pitted against one another.
The lawful good, the chaotic neutral.
Chaotic
maybe?
neutral.
Yeah.
Or the chaotic good.
Lawful neutral.
Something neutral for sure.
The
Clearly.
Superman and the Batman.
Yeah.
This episode has been sponsored by Cape Stories. It's summer. Get ready for superhero.
Ugh.
Yeah, there you go.
Soup.
Anything else we want to say about Trigun 1998?
Soundtrack is banger.
So good.
Absolutely. Don't ever skip the opening or the end credits.
Watched it every time.
I think I feel like we have a I don't want to say like a need to reteach the way to watch older anime, but it is that like contemporary anime moves.
It's so
and,
fast.
Like, it's so fast. Things just happen and it's gorgeous. And I get that like this is an art style that has aged itself comparatively, but
happens.
at the same time, I think this is one of those that like this is worth looking past that because I think it serves an actually very nice aesthetic choice for this world, for these characters, for the way that things look. There's a little bit of that like, oh, this is like some late 80s, like 90s, like how do we make future tech? Like there's a lot of it that reminds me of Nausicaa from Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
Where it's like part organic, part tech, but it's still kind of flat.
Yeah.
In some ways. So there are some things that I don't think have aged super well as far as style, but I think that's well worth overlooking and sort of enjoying in its own right the moments where things aren't happening. Like it was kind of refreshing in some way to have to like refocus. Like
Takes its time.
Clearly there are those moments where it's like we're cutting to the bus again driving because we're not animating more flaps for the love of God. But then other times there are these nice like pointedly like focused shots on the desolate wasteland that we are pitted against every day trying to survive, or these little touches of humanity and life just trying to live in this hostile world. So it's a return to form in some ways of like, yeah, take things slow. Not every frame needs to be filled with punches and gunfights and movement and all this.
It's
all
a
this stuff.
Western.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a Western. We can enjoy when it's slow. We're supposed to in some ways because once it's not slow, it happens so quick and then it's done. And then what?
Like a duel.
Yeah.
A lot of anticipation and then incredibly quick action.
Yup.
Oh yeah, Gibby.
Is a good show. in less brevity, I feel like this is a very good show after, you do the initial dipping your toes into anime, that it is like an intermediate without like going full like deep end or
You would
anything.
never give somebody this like, this is your first anime, go watch this.
I would say this is your second anime.
On the spectrum between One Punch Man and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Trigun lands in the middle.
Yeah. Like, I feel like once you've taken like the 101, the intro course, this will be a really good next step because it does have a lot of its like visual language from anime and like some of its tropes, but there's so much that'll be familiar to you because, you know the aesthetics of the Western, of the sci-fi movie, of like these things that are part of our cultural language through media, that it won't feel completely unfamiliar, and it doesn't feel like it has to over-explain anything or lore dump at any point. You'll catch on. Like, you'll have questions, but you'll be able to catch on, and it's never a point where it's just like, all right, let's break down how everything about this works.
Right.
It's kind of Mad Maxy in that, like, you see something and you go, what the fuck was that?
No,
and
I forgot to mention,
later.
like, it's actually very refreshing of, like, giving you enough information as audience to sort of go, oh, okay, yeah, like, I get where this might be going, but also does a really good job of, like, threading you along without teasing you the entire way, and also not having to just dump all of the information all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we have to dump, like, the childhood growing up of these two, but that's just because there hasn't been an opportunity to flashback yet. But other than that, no other, like, plot or, like, city or whatever, like, nothing gets, like, dumped on you for a good chunk of episode. You're able to, like, hold on to all these puzzle pieces and then put it together, and it's really, like, satisfying.
Yes, indeed.
Now that I've learned that you two liked Trigun, I'm going to force you to watch Outlaw Star.
I mean, look, Bo, think about it this way. You take anime, you take it with a Western, you give me good gunfighting and a fun main character. Like, I watched the first episode and I said, of course I'm gonna like this. It's got everything that I like in it.
We're gonna do Outlaw Star
all
at some
the
point.
boxes, baby.
Yeah, we are going to do Outlaw Star at some point.
No complaints here, man.
Does it also have a blonde protagonist in her red coat?
It has a red-haired protagonist in a blonde coat. You think I'm joking? I'm not.
They've inverted the formula.
And then next is Fallout New Vegas, and then we're gonna do a Star War, and we're never gonna do anything
I should play
different
Fallout
again.
New Vegas for this show. That'll be fun.
Welcome to the Western liberal artists. This is who we are
We're
now.
just exploring westerns with sci-fi now,
Hell
I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, no John Wayne Westerns. Hell no. We're doing 70s and beyond,
Does this
baby.
mean we can talk about Back to the Future 3?
Yes.
Why not? Let's talk about Six-String Samurai.
Hell yeah.
Hot damn. We have finally evolved. It only took us 40 episodes.
We've struck a new podcast niche.
Join us next time in part 2 when we talk about Trigun Stampede. Give it a watch.
Join us next time when we have a new style and new energy.
When we're awake.
Our theme song is just going to be on acoustic guitar whistling
so sick.
as like
So sick.
as horses like clip clop in the background with the hooves hitting dirt.
All right. Thank you again for joining us on this episode. Join us next time when we do Trigun Stampede. Love and peace.
Love and peace. The Liberal Artists Podcast premieres every other Thursday on your favorite podcasting platform. The show is hosted by Bodio Papula, Kaylie Horowitz, and Andy Gibson. You can find the show at LibArtistsPod on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks to White Hot for performing the theme song Reflect, which can be found on freebeats.io. Additional thanks to Brett Van Donsel for performing this episode's outro theme, Rattlesnake Railroad. More of his work can be found on SoundCloud. Now, I'm off to go exploring these here hills, see if I can find a stallion of my own. Yeehaw!
Last note, I don't know if you'll use this in the bumper, but I wanted to make a Vash cosplay so bad. I
That'd be
took like
fun.
a crappy old Hannah Montana wig and tried to make that stand
Hell
up
yeah.
on its ends and work with that
Hell
as a
yeah.
base. It did not go well.
No, it did not. But you started, and look at where you are now.
Still weeb trash.